Hey everybody, it's Jill for today. It's baking day. I'm going to do some whole wheat bread, and so we're going to get started with the just the softening and the proofing of the yeast. That's what they call it, to make sure your yeast is still alive and ready to go. So I'm going to tip you down here. Okay. So I have here 6 ounces of warm water, and I have a tablespoon of yeast. And then I always add a teaspoon of sugar. It's not called for, but it just kind of gives the yeast a little food. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add the water to my pot. Okay. And then I'm going to sprinkle in the tablespoon of yeast. And then I'm going to pour in the 1 teaspoon of sugar. And I will show you what this looks like once I've got it mixed up. And get that yeast all dissolved and incorporated in that water. Okay, so as you can see, that's pretty well mixed in there. So I'm going to let this sit about 5 to 10 minutes. Then I'll bring you back and I'll show you how it's proofed. It'll get all bubbly and wonderful. Smells yeasty already. And then we'll get started on the next step. Here is what the yeast and water and sugar looks like after about 10 minutes. I'll bring this in so you can see it's kind of, oh yeah, see there, it's nice and foamy, which means the yeast is nice and alive. Okay. So now I'm going to add 1 cup of whole wheat flour, and I do grind my own flour, but you don't have to, right? You don't have to. You can buy whole wheat flour. However, I do find that if you buy whole wheat flour, it's been ground up, and those oils are going to be released, and eventually they will start to go rancid, and you don't want that in your bread. So I was very fortunate to be able to buy a grinder a number of years ago, and I use it. I make cornmeal, I grind up my own buckwheat flour, I grind up my own garbanzo flour. When you need different types of flours of that nature, I just throw them in the grinder and it grinds up real well. So I'm going to give this a good stir. Make sure the flour is incorporated well. And I'm going to then put some saran wrap over it, let it sit approximately an hour. This is what's called a sponge. And I know it sounds like maybe there are a lot of steps here. This is a step you don't necessarily have to do. You could go from the yeast being activated right into bread making. But if you have the time and you're going to be doing stuff around the house, or you've got an errand to run, something along that line, this will sit for an hour or so, and then you come back and you pick up where you left off. Going to put some saran wrap on there, set it aside for an hour. I have some things I want to do, and we'll be back in about an hour. Okay, here we are back, and I want to show you the sponge that's been working itself for about an hour, and it's a nice kind of soft, airy dough. So now I'm going to add the remaining flour, and there's remaining liquid. So this is 14 ounces, and what I've added here is some warm water and some almond milk. That's warm, and I like to put the almond milk in here. I find it just gives it a little more richness. So that is 14 ounces. I have 3 tablespoons of oil. And 3 tablespoons. It calls for honey, but I'm using agave nectar. 3 tablespoons of that. See, if you use the oil first, it makes everything come out of the spoon. Okay, there's 3 tablespoons of that. and I will get this started just to get this all mixed up. I use my KitchenAid mixer. I find it works really well. Does the majority of the work for me. And it has a wonderful kneading hook. So I'm going to set this up and just give it a nice turn, get it started. I love making bread. I've sort of tweaked this recipe over the years. It came out as pretty much a standard whole wheat flour recipe, and over the years I've just kind of kept tweaking and tweaking and tweaking until it's what I like. So it's very liquid right now, and that's just fine. Calls for gluten flour, that kind of gives it a little more lift. That in. Tablespoon of salt. And then it calls for 4.5 cups of flour, and I'm going to add that, and I'm also going to add a mixture of, I have in here pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax seed, chia seed, and some poppy seed. Just a nice little variety of that. It was 2 tablespoons of each, so probably 3/4 of a cup. We're going to get started on this flour. I'll change my hook. Put my dough head here. Okay. I'm just going to add probably about half of it right now. It's it does vary depending on how moist your air is and how much moisture is in your flour. And so you always start with what you think is going to be right, and then sometimes that changes. Let this turn a while, and then we will return. Pull this up here so you can see it. Not very good at this. Let's see here. There we go. So you can see it's all kind of mixed up now, and it's ready to take on some more flour, and that's what we do. I'm trying to learn my new little small tripod, and it's a challenge. But you know I'm trying. Okay, I'm going to add more flour here. Then there'll come a point where it's kind of a sweet spot. You know, you've got just enough flour in there. And then I will let it knead for almost 10 minutes. And again, you kind of get a sense of when it's done. And I'll show you what the texture of it is. So I'm going to let this spin for a while, start adding some more flour, and once I get that texture we're looking for, I'll bring it back. Okay, here we are, and it is in a good knead now. Just kind of rotating around the bowl. And I may add just little sprinkles of flour, as it may get a little sticky. But basically, this is a good roll, and I'm going to let it work for about 6-7 minutes, and then I will finish it by hand, and we will be back. We're back, and the dough is ready to do a little hand kneading. It went on the machine for almost 10 minutes, and I did add maybe a half a cup more of flour. So I would say probably in all I had 5 to 5.5 cups of flour. Put it down here on the counter. Add a little flour on top so it's not quite so sticky. I'm just going to do some kneading here for a few minutes. Just to I like a little hand action on it. I think it shows the bread that you love it, and that it's not just something that comes out of a machine. And I can really feel the spring. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's got a lot of spring in it, which is a good sign. It looks like it's going to be a good batch. This will make 2 loaves, and I'm sure the director will be very happy to sample it for you when it's out of the oven. And what I have done is I have started to heat the oven a little bit, just to take the chill off it, and I do that with my oven light. And then when I get ready to start letting this rise, rise, I will put it in that pre-warmed oven. It's a good spot for, for letting that bread dough rise. And it will take a little more here. It'll take about an hour, hour and a half for it to double in size. And then I will portion it out equally to the 2 loaves. Then it sits and rests another maybe 30 minutes, and that's good because I can start heating the oven to bake. Okay, I think we're good to go here. This is a beautiful, I think it's going to be a nice loaf. And I'm going to clean out this bowl. I try to do everything in the same bowl, and I do that in my mixer bowl because it just works great. I'm going to use my super duper new spritzer, which I absolutely love. This is the Fine Life brand, and it is super. So I'm just going to give my bowl here a bit of a spray. Put it into the bowl and let that top get coated with oil. And the bottom. There we are. Oh, the director just sneezed. And he just sneezed again. He's in another room and he's making so much noise. Okay, so this is going to go, let me bring it back up here to me. There we go. So this is going to go into a warmed oven, just warm. Just take the chill off the oven, and that'll be a nice environment for it to rise. And then I will show you what it looks like when we're ready to portion it out and put it in the loaf pans. We are back with the most amazing bread dough. Get this in the view here so you can see it. This has been rising for about an hour and a half. Look at that, is that beautiful or what? Right over the top of the bowl. Okay, so I'm gonna, people say just punch it. No, you don't want to punch it. You want to gently let it down, like that. Okay, take my little scraper so I get all that bread dough out of there. Oh, it's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Bring you down here so I can, I'm sorry. I'm just not too good with this thing yet. There we go. Heck, I'm gonna do this here. There we go, that's good. I had you propped up with my nutritional healing book. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my super duper mister here. I love this thing, just love it. I'm gonna give the pans a little squirt. This is just some nice olive oil. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of pull this out. And I like to weigh the loaves to make sure that they're about the same weight. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of guesstimate here. What's half? Okay, this weighs 111, 1 pound 11 ounces, and this one weighs 112. So that's close enough for me. That's close enough. So I'm going to take each loaf, and again I'm going to press it down into a rectangle. Oh, it feels so good. This is going to be a good batch. I just know it. Okay, and you can see, oh, it's studded with pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, and I'm just going to roll. See how I'm rolling, like you would do cinnamon rolls if you were making cinnamon rolls. I'm going to turn it over on the other side. Here's that seam, so I'm going to pinch that so it's closed up as best I can get it. Same thing on the ends, and then what I do is I kind of roll it, kind of just get that bottom seam nicely tucked in there. Then, as I did with the bowl, when I put the dough in there, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to turn it over. And there you have a beautiful, beautiful loaf ready to go. Do the same thing with the other one. Press it down into a rectangle. Okay. And and start the rolling, just like a cinnamon roll. Those are very good too. I might have to do some cinnamon rolls. Of course, the director would be thrilled. There's that back seam. We're gonna pinch that closed. I'm gonna do my little roll. Kind of hopefully get that seam pretty invisible. Okay. And again, I'm going to put the loaf in there, turn it around, even up the sides so it's a pretty uniform loaf. So I will go ahead and I will put some saran wrap over these, set them on just on the side, and let them, again, it's not going to double. It's going to come up so it's just about to the top of the pan. If you let it go too long, too far into the yeast rising, then when it comes out, that top dome will be loose, and you know, you don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and cover these with saran wrap. I've got my oven heating right now at 350, and we will be back. These loaves are ready to go into the oven, and we are going to take this saran wrap off, and as you can see, it's just starting to go over the top of the rim of the pan, and that's what you want, because if you let it go up too high, it's gonna, as I said, you're going to have a top that's gonna kind of want to pop off the top. It's like the other upper crust won't make it. So these are going to go now into a 350-degree oven. I'm going to check them after 30 minutes. The temperature, I can't recall what it is. The internal temperature, I believe, is supposed to be 180 degrees. And I use a little thermometer for that, and I'll check it. So we're good to go here. Can't wait to get these out, check them out, have the director take a sample, and we will be back as soon as these are finished cooking in the oven. It's time for bread. It's time for bread.
My favorite time of the whole year.
Okay, you want to haul it on down here? Oh, look, it's such a happy loaf. Is it happy?
Oh, it looks good to me.
It's still nice and warm.
You can just slice that whole thing up.
Yeah. Now you see what I was talking about here is that if it had been too what's the word I'm looking for? If it had raised too much, this whole thing would have like just broken off. Oh, it's so moist. Okay.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay, so I'm gonna take the camera and we're gonna get the directors. How am I doing? Am I doing okay?
Fine.
Okay, here we go. Okay, there you are. Here's the bread. I'm gonna have a bite of it at the same time. You ready?
Smells good.
Wow. It's so moist.
Wow. That's good bread.
And the texture is very good.
Texture is wonderful. I like that a lot.
And you know, my mouth is full, excuse me. You don't really need butter. Or, you know, margarine.
Butter always helps everything.
Ah.
Everything's better with butter.
Vegan butter, I might add. So, it's good.
Is there another kind?
No, there's not. We're coming up on our first year
As vegans.
as vegans, 15th of May. We're very excited about that. Okay, so the bread's a winner. It's a winner. I'm going to have a little bit now myself. Thank you all. I'm so glad you came along for Bread Baking 101.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. And we will see you all later. Say goodbye, Director.
Bye-bye.